Hey guys, this week we got our good friends, the gents, the absolute legends over at SchmoesKnow, Kristian Harloff and Mark Ellis in for a podcast. They've been on the show before, and they're back. We're going to talk about all the movies coming out between now and the end of 2015.
We also talk about our domination of their Ultimate Schmoedown too, so get excited for that. But before we get started, we want to talk about Dungeon Boss. They were the people that were nice enough to send us out to PAX on their dime so that we can meet you guys. We had a ton of fun. And actually, so the game came out, and I'm fully addicted to this game. This is not like a full-on sales pitch thing. I've been playing this game ever since it's released, and
You're getting high on your own supply.
Shamefully have spent money on it already, and it's great. It's all the best parts of like dungeon crawling in old school RPGs. You get like a warrior and a mage and a healer and stuff like that, and you go in and you basically battle your way through a dungeon until you get the boss. And it's all about getting awesome loot and building these characters up. It's a ton of fun. I'm actually playing it, so if you want to add me on Dungeon Boss, my username on there is the same as my Twitter. It's RickyFTW. So add me on there because we actually get bonuses for working together and using each other's characters in the game. So check out Dungeon Boss. We're gonna put a link in the description below so you can download it on Android or iOS, and check it out. It's a ton of fun. Play Dungeon Boss.
Welcome back to the ETC podcast. It doesn't really have a name anymore. We are here with some of our favorite guys in this lovely city. They'll be here shortly. The Schmoes!
Hey, what's up? Long time.
Yeah, well, we've seen you recently.
Yes, you have. You guys are the bracket busters.
Yeah. The bracket. I love that. I loved becoming the villain.
Just ruining everyone's bracket.
If I told you, so we're talking about the Ultimate Schmoedown, where we do like a 15-week movie trivia contest, and these guys went up against Profiles, who were like the heavy favorites to win like almost the whole tournament. You knocked out over 500 people in their brackets, and they're not happy about it.
No, not at all. And
it was actual movie journalist Scott Mance.
Yeah, Paul Stant.
And an actual movie knowledge person, Alicia Malone.
Well, the thing was our key to winning was just we weren't aware of the math problem that he was doing either. That was not happening in his head. We just bet it all. We were like, well, we're gonna lose either way. So we just bet everything.
And you guys love misery. You love misery because you should have seen these two afterwards. Scott Mance had his hands up over his face, and they kept looking at all the memes. Like he looked like he just saw Star Wars. He was so happy to see the misery on Mance's face.
I was trying to think of a historical precedent for what Ricky and Elliot pulled off, and there isn't one in real life. In fiction, there is, and it's when Alfred is describing the Joker to Batman in The Dark Knight. Some people just like to watch the world burn.
They loved it. And they were definitely the villains. They came in so your next match, you're going up against two other juggernauts, man.
Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes, right?
Rotten Tomatoes, Gray Drake and Matt Atchity.
So that's like really, I was intimidated first of all. I think we got the hard one out of the way, as far as I know, because that was also the weak point, I think, for Team Profiles was
math.
Yes, math, but the fact that we presented ourselves as just complete morons. So I think they were like,
presented yourselves as you played the role of you weren't actually morons.
We played the role. We were very good at acting like
and playing the role of moron.
Scott Mance stayed up till like 4 a.m. the night before. He's like, I don't need a good night's study.
I'm gonna be going up against Machinima. It doesn't even matter.
Doesn't matter.
So but here's the thing, though, is that when you guys go into round 2, you can't change your mojo. I want no preparation. I want you guys partying at a strip club the night before. Maybe even the day of.
I'm going to bring a stripper to the show.
You should.
That's an intro.
We said, we're bringing twice as many beers next time. Right. But yeah, I think it's like when you have that lucky rabbit's foot at the casino table. You're not going to get rid of that. You're going to keep rubbing it.
Change nothing.
So we just got to never study.
The Gonzaga.
Never prepare.
We got to wear the same clothes.
We thought about doing an actual intro this time, but we're like, well, why?
Well, you want to? I think you should do an intro. I think because especially from being here, you guys and watching a show, you guys come up with some creative shit. So I'd like to see.
We had an idea kicking around, so maybe we'll do that.
Yeah, it's a pretty. It's going to reinforce just how hated we are.
Yeah,
your fans. No, I wouldn't say hatred though, because once you guys were talking about. The Machinima people came and they were like after they had found out about the match and what you did, it was all over. Profile fans got murdered on the thread afterwards. Yeah,
if this was like the '80s still and it was like a wrestling heel, then yes, we'd have Schmo villains lined up with pitchforks ready to burn you guys. But I think they get the gist of that. You need a villain in order to have heroes.
Well, we felt like the '90s bad boy era of WWF, and we were like, oh, the bad guy still gets cheered when he comes out. because you love to hate them, and that's what we want to be now.
Yeah.
So that's great for us.
We would have had that. We would have been actually the villains in our own tournament had our original opponents had not bailed. Because we were supposed to go up against Katie Sackhoff and Bonnie Somerville.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And everyone was saying it was just an easy match. We put them up there because they're just two actresses who are working all the time. They might not know as much. And then we played Nerdist. We won.
Yeah.
And there we go. So.
Yeah, so it was Dan Casey and Jessica Chobot,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So they both know their shit. So
They
that
do.
must have been an actual like.
Dan writes books.
Yeah, that man is a book writer.
Literally sits down
Yeah.
and puts words on. Who does that anymore?
I was scared of Dan going in because of how much he knew, and like it was a good battle. It went down to the wire. One of the moderators screwed up. It was his first time doing it, but it still
Ended
turned
up
out to be
not
okay.
mattering. It's
No,
once you
no,
get
no.
down to the third round against us, you're gonna lose. Sorry.
Yeah.
So if you want to check out, by the way, any of those
for sure.
matches, we put a whole playlist up on if you go to youtube.com/SchmoesKnow, there's a 2015 Ultimate Schmoedown matches. You can watch all of the first round matches, and then round 2 actually starts September, was it 24th or whatever, and that's
Next
gonna
Thursday or-
that'll be Mark, the top 10 versus the team champs.
I was so upset that Screen Junkies got knocked out
Oh, they
because
got murdered.
I really wanted to go up against them. And that was another one where it was just like it kind of went one way and then the other. I don't know.
that one,
Like
they
Monday was like it was Monday, right? And
Hal
Hal Rudnick here.
trying to win,
Yeah.
couldn't do it because Nick Mundy answering wrong questions.
Yeah. You could see him just like burning
He
into
was
his
so
seat.
mad.
Yeah.
Well, the
Hal's
great
a
thing about
competitor.
between your guys' matchup and their matchup is that we do it like March Madness style brackets,
Yeah.
and so all of our fans fill out who they think is going to win.
Yeah.
After your guys' match, I think out of 700 brackets that were submitted, there were 3 ones that still could have possibly won.
No, it was a little higher, but
I'm
not
selling
much.
it, Kristian.
Sorry, okay.
I'm selling
It was
a
5.
product.
It was
And those
five.
were our brackets.
Yeah. It was set up all of those.
It's not gambling if you win.
Yeah.
It's true.
No,
It's true. Like Pete
no,
Rose over here.
it's a job.
But yeah, please check it all out. It is incredible, and it was so fun being there and being a part of it and winning. Of course, was
Exhilarating.
great. It was just exhilarating.
Yeah.
It was a half court shot with like literally
totally
0 seconds
was.
as soon as it rolled off the fingertips. It was pretty crazy.
And Mance with the hands on the face.
Oh yeah,
The best memes of all time.
Oh,
It was
ever.
great, and the best part was like, so we got after that we were so graciously accepted into the Schmoville community on Facebook, which we've dealt with.
You guys have some intense fans.
We've dealt with a fan base on the internet, intense, but just very nice people. When it
Yeah,
comes
they're
down
great.
to it, like guys, let's keep it civil here, and like every comment stream.
And they started that. There's a bunch of fans that basically started their own Schmoville group. It's like
Yeah.
Schmoville exclamation point, and they just talk about everything that kind of relates to the show. I mean, that's how movies, but it
Yeah.
all relates back to everything that we do on the show. And then when you guys came in, they showed memes from. They're the best. They really
Yeah.
are the best.
Yeah, for whatever reason, like we don't have a whole lot of trolls. Like every time you get on, you read our YouTube comments, you read anything, you expect with the channel's growing bigger and we have over 200,000 subscribers, you're gonna get trolls that bring down the property value.
It's just the
There's a
nature of
few
YouTube,
them,
too.
But it's not that many. It's like our percentage is still pretty good.
And they do a good job moderating over there. So any trolls that do show up, they just bounce them out.
Schmoville is just a utopia.
Yeah.
yeah. Hey guys, should buy an island.
Give us some of that machinima money. We'll do it.
This is the last of it right here.
You're drinking it. You're drinking the rest of your salary.
Do we pay the Schmoes or do we get tape,
Yeah.
construction
Yeah,
tape
yeah.
for our
This
beers?
is, yeah.
Pay him in Bud
It's
Light.
a
That's
real
all you
man's
need.
beer. You can tell because of the caution tape on it.
But we're not just here to gloat
Yeah.
about our stunning
Thanks for having us, guys.
We're actually here to talk about all of the movies coming out between now and
Christmas,
the end of the year.
basically,
Yeah, the
basically.
fall movie season.
Which-
And there's a lot of them.
And it's a kind of a mixed bag. You have a lot of the award bait movies that are coming out, and you also have some real garbage. So I'm kind of excited to go through some of this with you. Real quick, I want to do a little roundtable really quickly about. So first half of the year, what movie takes it for you overall, regardless of if it's like a drama, comedy, action?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I mean, I want to go with like a big summer blockbuster. Like I love Mad Max. I love Jurassic World. Ant-Man surprised me how much I liked it. Straight Outta Compton was a great surprise. I'm gonna say Ex Machina for the first half of the year is probably overall my favorite movie because I had no idea what to expect from that movie, and I got everything that I didn't know I had wanted going in.
I'll push on that. Ex Machina is by far my favorite movie of the year, but I also like Dope. The Dope was really great. And if we're gonna go big blockbuster action movies, Mission Impossible 4, Mad Max.
Five.
Five.
It was
excuse me,
five, Kristian.
5. I always say 4, but 5 and Mad Max. Those are the movies that stood out. And Kingsman. I thought Kingsman was a surprise.
Oh,
I
yeah.
never
Right,
expected
right.
that one. So.
Fantastic. Yeah, I'd have to say, as far as seeing it as many times in the theater as I did and talking about it as much as I did, Mad Max for sure. But as far as just a movie that blew me away, Ex Machina for sure was just a complete mind fuck.
Yeah.
And just visually entertaining, and I love like suspense and being thrown for a loop when it's not M. Night Shyamalan. Mm-hmm. It was just a great movie, like throughout, like full throttle the entire way. But yeah, I mean, Mad Max I think is the top for me.
Those would be the two for me as well.
Yeah.
Like Mad Max kind of like proved to me again, it restored my faith in like the action genre as something that isn't always just fighting robots and monsters and shit.
And an 80-year-old man did that.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
It was just the funnest movie I've seen in years. And then Ex Machina was just really fucking brilliantly written and really, really well acted. We had Oscar Isaac in
he
to
was
talk
incredible.
about that, and he's just like, that guy's probably, I would say, the most talented actor working.
Yeah,
right
at least
now.
like in recent memory. I mean, A Most Violent Year, Inside Llewyn Davis.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Force Awakens yet, but I'm sure he's
Oh,
great.
it's good. It's a good movie. You're gonna like it. He's also
I
in
gave
that.
Mark the inside
He
scoop.
parked his DeLorean outside. or something.
There's some HBO miniseries that he's on right now too.
Oh,
I have no idea what it's.
Show
it's
Me a
about.
Hero.
It's
Sort of
about
like-
he's a
like-
mayor in.
Yeah, there's like zoning laws or something. It was like some courtroom, and I didn't care about the plot at all. But watching him, he's just magnetic for whatever
He
reason.
really is, and he's American, right?
Yeah.
Because
Well,
that's.
he's born in Guatemala, I think.
Yeah.
But he was, but then he came here really young.
Yeah, when he was
Yeah.
like 4 years old.
So I would consider him an American actor. As
Oh,
well,
yeah,
too,
absolutely.
because
we can
and
claim him against all the Brits that are playing
That's,
Superman.
that's where I was going
Good.
with it. Look at the other top actors right now, whether it be Fassbender, Cumberbatch, Tom Hardy. They're all. He's one of our. I mean, because Gosling's Canadian, so there's really the great American actors. We don't have a lot of them right now.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and
We're getting our ass kicked. Yahoo Serious is Australian.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
true. He's one of them. So.
Yeah, no, he was incredible. And what was I going to bring up about that? The fact that like you could watch him in anything and be intrigued by it, like that show on HBO, and the fact that we keep seeing these images pop up of Apocalypse and X-Men, and you look at it and you're like, I know he's going to be great in this.
right. Even though he looks like a purple Power Ranger.
It's just like I know you're going to be good, but what? Come on.
If that was any other actor, I
I'd
would
be
have.
like,
I would have
"Nah,
just
done.
no, fuck it.
This is stupid.
Not in.
Wasn't there a new picture that came
yeah,
out
which
too?
looks
it looked
better, but.
And we don't know
they
that's
put him
real.
on the front of
Yeah.
Entertainment Weekly
Yeah.
looking the same.
Entertainment Weekly is kind of famous recently for just having really horrible photo shoots.
Yeah.
The one exception was their Force Awakens
Yeah.
cover,
Yeah.
which looked cool, but they had like a Terminator
Oh,
one.
a
that was-
Terminator
The Terminator
was
one looks
terrible.
like trash. It looked
It
like
looked
the
like
Sarah
a Sears.
Connor Chronicles.
It's like when you're walking by the Sears and they have those pictures of families.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that like magazines in general, they must be losing so much money because based on the photos and art and cover stuff alone, like have you guys seen the Time magazine cover of the virtual reality?
Yes.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Who signed off on that?
Right. Yeah. there's
It
some
might
bad
just be
ones.
magazines mailing it in because
Yeah.
because they know everybody's
They
going
got
to
like
online.
two people on
No
staff.
one's watching
Yeah.
this. No one's looking at this shit. Just put it online.
I'm making $10 an hour as the lead graphic designer for Time magazine. This is the best you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's- yeah.
But next week there's gonna be some guy with crayons.
Yeah. Well, I thought that one was specifically so funny because it's virtual reality. You have unlimited options on where you can put this.
I gotta see this cover now.
floating Man.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
And,
bad.
and they put him on like a shitty like MS Paint looking
He's like
beach.
floating at the beach.
It would have been great in 1987.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember
It
the
still would've
Lawnmower
sucked back
Man?
then,
That was
honestly.
mind blowing.
The Lawnmower Man would have been more appropriate.
Max
than what
Headroom?
they used.
Yeah.
Hey, football fans, your season-long fantasy football team might be going strong now, but you don't have to wait until week 16 to get paid.
No.
Put your fantasy skills to the test every week this season at DraftKings.com, America's favorite one-week fantasy football site.
Yeah, 1 week fantasy football means no season-long commitments. It's a new season every week, so you're never stuck with the same players. And get this, DraftKings is crowning a new millionaire every week this season.
That's 16 millionaires. So this isn't fantasy as usual. This is DraftKings, baby. Welcome to the big time, baby.
Hurry to DraftKings.com now and use promo code INSIDE to play for free for a shot at $1 million in this week's Millionaire Maker event. Enter INSIDE for free entry now, only at DraftKings.com.
DraftKings.com.
That's DraftKings.
.com.
Yep. But now we're talking about the upcoming movies, and like I said, there's a lot of cool stuff coming up. I don't know where you guys want to start. I just printed this stuff out as
You guys are seeing Black Mass
a
tonight,
guideline.
right?
Yeah, I printed this out as a guideline. So let's talk about.
Is this in order as far as release too?
Yes,
Okay,
pretty
great.
much.
Cool.
So you can use this as like a reference, like if you're like, oh, I'm trying to remember what comes out in October.
Yeah.
But I want to know what you're excited for aside from Star Wars. We'll get to that.
Yes.
We'll get to December.
We'll get to that big circle jerk.
Yeah, we have 45 minutes to dedicate to
talk
that
about
one.
Star
I'm
Wars.
sure. Yeah, but yeah. So
When I get a boner thinking about Star Wars, it actually has a cross guard on it. The girlfriend's not a huge fan of it, but it's all right.
No.
Kylo Wen. So if we're talking about movies in general, like from now until December, I think for me, one of them is definitely Creed.
I just know in your head you're thinking, don't say Star Wars.
No, it's Star Wars.
so definitely Star Wars.
Creed, Revenant, for sure.
What's Revenant?
Yeah, I
Revenant's
heard that.
with Tom Hardy and Leonardo DiCaprio, directed
Christmas
by the
Day
same
release,
director
they're-
Birdman,
Oh.
Inarritu.
I have no
Wait,
idea.
no,
He has a
I mean,
movie
it's
coming out?
Yeah,
When
it's
is that coming out?
Limited release in December because they want to push it hard for Oscars. Everyone's saying already that they're touting this as Leo's win.
Oh, well, they say that about.
But
pretty
no,
much
they
every
say
movie.
nomination normally. They're saying
Okay.
Leo's win this time around.
Well, that's because he's been snubbed so many times.
Now
True.
they're just going to have to give it to him.
Yeah,
My-
he's
my
gonna-
suggestion
He's gonna end up
to you
getting like the
would-
Lifetime Achievement Oscar before he gets any other.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
It's the truth.
I would say actually go see a movie in the theater now and hope that you get a Revenant trailer, because I saw Mission Impossible 5 for like the 9th time in a theater this weekend, and they had the Revenant trailer for the first time in a theater. Blew me away. I could not believe it. And even I saw a still of the Revenant like a year ago, and I was like, Leo's going to win this year.
Yeah.
I think he's going to win Best
What's it
Actor.
about?
Who cares?
It's a Western. And it's, by the way, and also.
Oh, no, I did see this. Yeah, this movie looks
It
fucking
looks
great.
fucking great, right? Yeah.
That's
so
all that it took to
That's
get
it.
this-
It's
No,
already-
I remember
it's
like
get
the,
to it.
Western,
the fucking
Western that isn't Hateful Eight.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
The
Hateful
shots
Eight's-
of him on the
Hateful Eight's
horse
the one.
are like
when he's got the
otherworldly.
gun.
Yeah,
It's great. And Tom Hardy, and it's just basically he's abandoned by he's with this group, and they kind of leave him. There's the Indians are coming after him at one point, and he's on the horse, and you see the way it's shot, and it's all shot with natural daylight too. No actual.
Yeah,
It's
like I can't wait to see like even just the behind the scenes stuff on how the fuck they shot that,
Yeah.
because the camera's so like it's just moving so smoothly
Yeah.
through like absolute chaos.
Yeah.
yeah. I
It
can't.
looks
That's,
gorgeous.
Yeah.
But a movie like that has a different challenge because it comes out right at the end of the year. So that has to top the cool movies that we've seen already. Like the
Right.
period we're in right now is where movies come out and we're like, oh, thank God you're not Fantastic Four. So
Yeah.
like
Right.
something like Black Mass, which we're seeing tonight, as of the recording, we're seeing tonight.
Yeah.
And then something like The Martian, which comes out in a couple weeks, we're seeing next week. So these are movies that could start to set the bar
Yeah.
for what an Oscar movie could be for this year.
Yeah, but also like you run the risk of forgetting how great some movies are. I guess when it comes to Oscar season, and then putting it there kind of goes, oh, this movie's great, and it's better than I remember this other movie or something like that. I know that happened a lot last year for me. Like when I saw Whiplash, I was like, I forget what movie I was like. I was talking about how Birdman was the best movie that I saw last year, and then I saw Whiplash, and I was like, well, I think the award should go to Whiplash because I think it's just a little bit better.
But you hope movies that come out earlier in the year, like a Mad Max or a Ex Machina, will make that push, because so much of the Oscars is marketing. So you want them to at least be competitive.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough for that. It's always tough for the movies that come out earlier to get the Oscar nods.
Yeah.
If it's not like visual effects and stuff too. Mad Max should certainly be nominated for at least. I mean, the director of photography alone is beautiful looking. But and I think another one that's coming out in October is Spielberg's Bridge of Spies.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks.
Tom
Hanks. Spielberg and Hanks together, and then the Coen brothers wrote it, which is
but
even more
they
interesting.
weren't they're not directing it.
No, they wrote it,
Yeah.
which I mean, the fact that shows you something as far as because they're kind of it's underplayed.
Yeah.
When they're underplaying the fact that the Coen brothers wrote it and it's Spielberg and Hanks, I think it's one of those movies that's just kind of like punch you right in the face when in the middle of October.
Yeah, it's also
It's a
Spielberg, and it's
historic-
it's Spielberg. It's historical.
Yeah,
it's
he
around.
does that well.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
around the
Yeah,
war.
yeah.
He's with the exception of 1942 or
41.
41.
Yeah.
He's really good at that.
Yeah, I wonder how he's going to cram a coming-of-age story with a child into that one.
He'll find a way.
They'll find a way.
But yes, but going back to that movie, and speaking of like Tom Hardy, who's just had an amazing year so far. We haven't seen Legend yet. Have you guys seen it, or
no?
are you
But I'm
excited for it?
very excited for it.
He plays two roles in this one.
They're talking Oscar for him on
Twins.
this. Yeah,
Yeah.
This is his Jean-Claude Van Damme. This is his double impact.
Jean-Claude wasn't as lucky with the Oscar thing. I know.
No, he wasn't.
Got
but
snubbed.
From what I'm hearing about it, from what I'm hearing is that the movie's okay, but he's amazing.
Yeah,
Now, I
I've
haven't
heard
seen
similar
it.
things.
but I want to see him do it. He right now is as where Oscar Isaac, I think you said is your favorite right now. I think Tom Hardy's my favorite right now. So I'd like to see what he does next, and especially I believe that he's these two different brothers, the Cray brothers. I see the trailer, and I don't feel like it's just two computer graphics. I feel like it's actually two different characters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's got to be just. I mean, you don't think about it, but he's acting everything twice.
Yeah.
As two different characters who are twins. Like that's the mental sort of acting gymnastics you'd have to do.
Armie Hammer did it, I guess, in Social Network.
Yeah.
Well, it's like when the Japanese had to do the scenes twice in 47 Ronin, and it took like 5 years to make.
What?
Remember, they had to redo it in English. They had to do the whole movie in English and
Wow.
Japanese.
Oh yeah.
They had to redo the whole movie.
I forgot about
Why?
that.
They should have given up after one take.
It was pretty
Tax
bad.
credits.
But you mentioned The Martian, which, I mean, this is the comparisons with Interstellar are always going to be there, and they were initially there. Obviously, it separated itself a little bit from it with the newer trailers and stuff, because when it comes down to it, it's Matt Damon left behind on a.
Yeah, it's Robinson Crusoe on Mars.
Yeah.
But
Castaway.
But I'd like to draw that comparison. Like, this could be this year's Interstellar. It's this big budget sci-fi thing that I think the masses are going to go out to see in droves because of just how cool and unique it is.
It's got some good buzz too. I mean, when the first trailer came out, I thought it gave away way too much of the story. But then you have your book readers come out because they're like, "Oh no, I read the book, and there's a lot more into it than just what we saw in the trailer." So I'm like, maybe we get a shot at this. I hear the book's really funny.
That's
too.
what I heard too. Yeah.
It's got all these different
true?
elements in it. So
It's hilarious.
Yeah, Sarah.
Maddie says it's hilarious.
Yeah, everyone says that the book is hilarious, and look, you know who really needs this to be hilarious and good is Ridley Scott. Ridley Scott, I don't know what you feel about Prometheus out
Liked
there.
it.
I thought it was beautiful looking. I didn't love the movie.
It was an attractive movie. With
attractive
no
movie.
It had
personality.
too much,
Yeah.
way too much hype.
That
It
was
suffered,
actually-
it choked itself on its own hype.
I thought so too. And,
I'd go on a second date with Prometheus.
The Counselor was not good,
No.
and then he did something after that was horse shit on a platter. So I think that
Oh, you guys didn't like that?
I loved horseshit on a platter.
well, hey, look,
Got snubbed.
to each his own. You're
Really,
right next to Van
babe.
Damme.
It's his agent calling. What happened at that last meeting? They said you brought horseshit into the meeting.
But I think, though, that this one, the reason why I think that it's going to be a little different is because Matt Damon was already attached to this. I think Drew Goddard maybe was on first. Someone was on first to do this movie and then dropped out. And now Damon has already been attached and been part of this project. I think he brought Ridley Scott in, so it wasn't like, because I think sometimes when Ridley Scott has a lot of control, too much control in the beginning, we've seen what's happened over the last 3-4 years.
Yeah.
But this might be a little bit more collaborative. So fingers crossed.
At least he's working off source material that is pretty universally accepted as being good.
Yeah,
And not
true.
not writing his own fucking bullshit sequel to Alien.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see
Where he won't show an alien. It's like, just I'll go see another Prometheus. Give us a xenomorph.
Yeah.
We deserve it.
They gave us
Say this one's-
sort of a xenomorph. I don't know.
You know who could else use a hit though in October is somebody who we respect him as a filmmaker, but it's like Guillermo del Toro did Pacific Rim and
Yeah.
it did okay, but
Which
it didn't
the
do
news
the
today that
huge
it
business
got-
you wanted. They might be shelving Pacific
Yeah.
Rim
Yeah.
2 for later, but if Crimson Peak is a hit and it's the horror movie that we want in October, that could really put him back on the right track.
I don't think it's a horror movie, though. From what I heard, I think some people are thinking that it is, and it's not. From what they're saying, it's kind of a gothic, kind of creepy romance more
Yeah,
than anything else.
which
I
he
think
does well.
I think so, and I think
Yeah.
some people are going to go into this movie thinking that it is a horror, and if you do, I think you might get disappointed.
Gotta have a
I'm
bad
not
time.
going into that movie feeling that it's. Going
I
to be
want to
horror.
get scared,
I
but
don't
it
think
doesn't
you're
have
gonna
to be
be
a
scared.
straight up horror movie. You can have some romance
Well, it's
in
like
there, but if
Pan's
you're in a
Labyrinth.
haunted
Pan's
house,
Labyrinth
That's like
walks the line
horror-ish.
very well.
Yeah.
Well, that was what I
it's
heard.
a good story, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what I heard. Someone who saw it said that people went into it thinking it was going to be a haunted house movie, and it's not a haunted house movie.
Okay.
Well, just don't think that then.
I think it's a haunted house, dude. There's gonna be ghosts in there. It's a
Yeah, it
haunted
says
house.
so right in the synopsis that I
just
copied.
telling
on
you what I
IMDb.
heard.
Here's the issue I
It
would
says
have with
ghosts.
it, is that ghosts? Is it a haunted house? Yes, it's a haunted
Ghosts
house.
of our
technically,
past
but
could
if
have
the
been
ghosts are
Yeah,
actually
it's true.
helping the good human, like there's a good human in there, then there's creepy humans, Jessica Chastain and Tom Hiddleston. I think the ghosts are actually going to be helping Maya get rid.
So it's like Casper,
Yeah.
I think they're
Yeah.
friendlier
Yeah.
than the humans.
the friendly ghost.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But still haunted. Technically still haunted.
Yeah. Okay.
Another one that came out that I'm really looking forward to is a trailer that dropped 2 days ago, and that's Creed.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't wait for Creed. I think it's the best continuation to the Rocky saga in general because I think people may know this, but Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan, who worked together on Fruitvale Station,
Yeah.
which I loved, Ryan Coogler came up with the premise and the idea for Creed, pitched it to Stallone, and then Stallone was in, and then that's kind of how you're going to further the franchise. I love the way they collaborated, Coogler and B. Jordan, in the first movie that they did together, and I think this one so far, this could be intense. I would love if Creed somehow got an Oscar nomination.
I mean, it looks really, really good. And when they dropped that first trailer, like just the way they even did the reveal that it's a sequel to the Rocky franchise,
Very well done.
Yeah, because like. If they wanted to, they could just say like Rocky 7 or whatever.
Right.
It's a smart
the
way to
story
do it.
continues, but like they're setting it up to like exist on its own and
Shared
just have
universe.
a little bit extra that fans of the original series will get.
Who would have imagined that Rocky had a universe and they would be expanding on it? And I think it's a fun way to kind of delve into characters that people love without beating the original series over the head and you know, taking parts, because there's a lot of stuff, like there's a lot of movies that you could do that with. Star Wars is kind of doing it with the other standalone films.
Well, they're doing Clubber Lang Fights the Transformers. That's coming out next month.
See, I'd pay money to see that in a haunted house. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think that like one of the reasons why the second Creed trailer showed as much as it did, I thought it showed too much, but you had to show everybody else who's not in the movie space that this is a Rocky movie.
Yeah.
Rocky's in this movie, but he's going through his own thing. He's not fighting in the ring. We promise.
Yeah.
He's not going to get mad. This isn't another Tommy Gunn situation.
Let me back.
And
I'm going back in.
People were complaining that the trailer gave way too much because you saw Paulie's grave. This is a guy who in 1986
He would be like
had a
100 years
robot
old.
bringing him beer and ice cream every day. How long did you think that guy was going to survive?
Yeah.
He's
did you?
dead.
I hate to bring this up right now, but did any of you listen to the Nerdist podcast? Did you watch Bar Rescue by any chance?
I know the show. No,
Oh, God damn it. So they had John Taffer on.
Yeah.
And John Taffer, he was telling amazing stories. He built the robot that was in the
Really?
Rocky movie. Yeah. He opened a club where the robot would come out of the ceiling.
Yeah,
and
not the
do all that
original.
stuff.
Not the original.
No, and they used it in the movie from the club because the club was in Philadelphia.
Wait, so he actually built the?
Yeah. No, well, not with his bare hands, but
No,
he made
no,
it.
no,
He developed
right.
it for the club that he
That's
opened.
amazing.
Yeah, that was like the weirdest.
Happy birthday, Paulie.
The more you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Sorry about that, but that was just
great.
like hilarious. Go watch that because it's fair. Listen, because that was great. But let's talk about horror movies. We have October right around the corner.
Right.
And I have to bring this up because I saw the original. Not the original, but you know it's loosely based.
Gem and the holograms.
Yes, loved it. But when I was like 15 years old, and this is like you could barely download a movie because speeds are so bad back then. But I downloaded this bootleg of Cannibal Holocaust on my computer, and I sat down as like I was 15 or 16, and was just my world was rocked. I wanted to know everything, like what the fuck is going on. It was like more mysterious to me whether it was real or not than some kind of like Blair Witch, which had come out a couple years before I found this, I think. But it was just like, what the fuck is this movie? This is insane. It was like the first kind of grindhouse movie that I ever saw.
Yeah.
And we're getting a sort of new one next month. But
It's Eli
Roth, yeah. And this thing's been through a lot of like.
they
not-
it was
shot it
shelved
like
for a
4
while.
years.
Shelved. That's the problems that I like because I think that they looked at it and go, "What the fuck?
Who's
going
gonna
to
wanna
What
see
are we
this?"
going to do
Yeah.
with this?" But finally, after all the legal battles, it's finally getting released. So.
Yeah, and Eli Roth loves that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
it's right in his wheelhouse, so it's something that I would welcome in October. It's like I'm not a huge fan of necessarily the over gore, eyes kind of movies, but something like that. I love seeing a guy who cares that much about grossing us out. Like, if you want it that bad, I'll go see your movie, you know?
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind
I'm
of just
intrigued.
one of those. I want to see it because I was such a huge fan of Carnival Holocaust, which is a great movie. Cannibal Holocaust. So I'm so intrigued by the attempt at. It's not a reboot or anything like that, but it's the
same basic concept,
Yeah,
though.
these people go to the Amazon and they come across a cannibalistic tribe and they fuck them up.
Although in the old one, it's like karma.
They
is the
deserve
reason.
it.
Yeah.
They're burning down their camps and shit. But the first one, they literally killed real animals in it, which was very wrong.
Yeah, they killed a giant like sea turtle.
Yeah, they killed a turtle
Alive.
and two
They
monkeys
cut it
because
open.
they
It's disgusting.
didn't kill the first one. They didn't
On
get the
film?
take. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
and
didn't
at
get
the
take
end,
right.
in the credits of the movie, it says very few animals were harmed or killed. in the
Well, they had
movie.
on
No
the,
humans were hurt.
on the original. They had to bring the cast into court
to prove that they weren't
actually dead. Yeah.
Wow.
So they put the director on trial.
Right,
And he had to
right.
prove it. So it was a very like unique thing to see as a younger person, but. I don't think that it's going to be the same for people seeing the Green Inferno that haven't seen it before, but it's kind of, it just interests
Right.
me as, and I hate the torture porn genre. I don't like Hostel. I don't like any of that stuff. It's just like the one specific topic I think is interesting.
All right, guys, so that is part 1 of our fall movie breakdown. It gets even crazier in round 2 because we talk obviously about Star Wars and some other great movies that are coming out later in the year. So you're gonna want to stick around and watch next week. We had a great time talking with these guys as usual.
Love them.
Yes.
They're real mensches.
Yeah.
Anyway, this podcast was brought to you by DraftKings.com. It's 1 week fantasy football at DraftKings, and that means every moment could take you closer to a life-changing payday. You play when you want, and you pick a new team every time.
So please hurry to DraftKings.com now and use promo code INSIDE to play for free at a shot at $1 million in this week's Millionaire Maker event. Enter INSIDE for free entry now at DraftKings.com. What is it, Elliot?
DraftKings.com.
Are you sure?
Dead serious.
Watch part 2 next week, guys.
Yeah.